Hi, everyone. Barb Schmidt, I'd like to introduce you to her. She is such a captivating speaker that her passion and charisma have garnered her the devotion of fans who travel across the globe to be part of her inspiring movement for global peace through inner peace. Barb is founder of Peaceful Mind, Peaceful World, a community outreach program through Florida Atlantic University designed to promote dialogue in the greater community on the topic of inner peace by incorporating workshops and weekly teachings with Barb and many of her esteemed mentors, who include His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Dr. Jane Goodall, Dr. Andrew Weil, Deepak Chopra, and many, many others. Barb is also the founder of Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, a nonprofit organization through which she teaches the practice, which is a three-part guide to practical spirituality in the modern world, and her tool for spreading her belief that outer peace begins with inner peace. Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life has rapidly expanded to include an online community via Facebook, with posts reaching over 10 million people through their daily inspirational emails and weekly blogs. In 2014, Barb's extensive achievements in fostering positive change had earned her an invitation to the White House State Dinner. She is truly a spiritual coach who has wide appeal among men and women from very diverse backgrounds. So, first question for you is, what was the inspiration behind writing the book, The Practice?
Oh, thank you, Deb. What a beautiful introduction. I've been on a path studying with all these great teachers and masters for the past 30 years. I started off my young childhood and my early adult life, not very happy, not very grounded in myself, having everything in the external world and not really liking myself inside. So once I went into treatment for my bulimia and came out, really understanding how to access some spiritual tools and some disciplines to go inside, it's been my passion to help others get this deep grounding and this deep knowing of how loved, how loving, and how wonderful and incredible they are, so that they can lead the life of their dreams. They can walk with their 2 feet planted firmly on the ground in the greatness that they came here to achieve and accomplish and be. So I have a great desire to change the world.
Where did the idea for the three-part framework come from? Do you think it's important to follow these steps each day in order to achieve a peaceful life?
I like to think of the practice and all of the things that I talk about in the book as a recipe, as a framework, or as like a guidebook. These are not, you must do this or you must do that and this will happen. These are ideas. These are tools, which I say in the subtitle of the book, that if you practice these daily, if you have some little practice that is sustainable in your life daily, you will start to achieve this interconnectedness of strength, of peace, of really a deep knowing that I know what I'm here to do. I know what choice it is that I need to make. I can take a pause with this external world being so crazy and really take a breath and think about what it is I want to do with my life. So I call it a recipe. You take a look at it and you see what works for you. And the key word in anything that we do in life, and if we really want it to matter and make a difference, it has to be sustainable. So we're all different and we have to look for what works in our own lives. And I think, yes, waking up, living present, letting go, having a rhythm to your life matters greatly in really walking this planet in a very solid, confident way.
Hmm. The book culminates 30 years of growth and personal development. How does it feel to finally have all these years of commitment on pages and to share with the world?
I can't even describe, there are no words to describe how incredible I feel that I am an author and that I have a book that has reached this bestseller status and that is changing the world. I did a talk last night at a local hospital and I had more people come up to me and say, your book has literally changed my life. So it's profoundly humbling and it's just amazing. I could not have imagined that this is where I would be today.
One of the steps in your book is letting go or reflection. What would you say to somebody who has an exceptionally difficult time letting go of things?
I am that somebody. It took me a long time to get to this point of really understanding that letting go is so important in order to be able to make the choices that we need to make and live in the moment and live our life in the greatness that we're meant to be living it. So what I say, and this is what I have done, is practice. Set the intention to let go. I've got some exercises in the book. Set the intention to let go. Do it at the very end of your day. Once you're done with television, everything that you're finished with for the day, get into bed and really set that intention that you have that deep desire to let go. And then truly just let the magic work. I mean, it truly is a way of grounding yourself from within with that intention that I really do want to let go, and then just take the steps to do it. And one day you'll discover as you're going to sleep, you'll wake up the next morning and you'll say, wow, I really was able to let go. I'm now in the next day feeling refreshed, feeling open and receptive to whatever might come. It's a practice.
In 2011, you founded Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life. Can you talk about that nonprofit organization, what it has to offer to the world at large?
Yes, it's everything for me. It is a nonprofit, so everything that I do with the book, all my talks, workshops, lectures, anything that I do, all the profits go back into this movement. It's really a movement for peace, empowerment, for really helping individuals step into their magnificence. You came here to do something with your life. You came here to really feel like you matter, like you're complete, like your life really means something for you. So Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life is that movement. We have inspirational quotes to start your day every morning. We have inspirational emails. We have workshops, lectures, practices all day long that you can check into with Facebook, with Twitter, with Instagram. It's all about taking a breath, really taking a moment in your life and allowing the positive, beautiful sayings and the quotes and the things that really matter to try to shift your attention if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling like life is kind of caving in on me and I can't really handle what's going on right now. You take a breath and you read a beautiful quote from one of these great teachers or masters or saints. And Peaceful Life, Peaceful Life is there to be your support, your guide, your little pick-me-up that you can rely on. And it's become a movement across the world. We're at 2.3 million people on Facebook. So we're hungry for changing the world. I believe people are really looking for this positive, really amazing way to live a life.
Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life has generated quite the online presence between Facebook and the blog. Why do you think that the organization is so well received, especially on the internet?
It's inspirational. You know, social media today, we're so blessed to have it, but we have to learn how to use it. We need to use it for the greater good. So it's inspirational. You read something that someone else has posted, or you read some of the things that we're posting, you read the blog that Michelle Maros is writing as the creative director of Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, and you say, whoa, I can live like that. I can do that. This has inspired me to not get so caught up in trying to change all the external things that happen in the world, because we can't. We only have control over our own selves. It empowers you and inspires you to live your greatest life day by day, 1 minute at a time. It's difficult to say in the present moment, and I think people are hungry for tools and for inspiration for how can I really live each moment to the fullest, and how do I get myself into the present moment. So there are little tips, and it's a reminder. It's a daily reminder.
You write in such a relaxed conversational style. How important was it for you when you were writing this to make it relatable and accessible to many different kinds of people?
Very, very important. I am a teacher. We're all teachers. So it's my deepest desire for all of us to connect within and become our own teacher. And in that way, it's all about having a conversation. I'm not here to tell you what to do, to tell you how to live your life. I'm here to have a conversation with you so that you can really start going within and understand what's right for you and what is the life that is meant for you to be living right now. So it's very important. We're all on this planet together, walking and trying to do the best that we can and trying to live the greatest life that we can. And so I'm you and you are me. And so having a conversation was extremely important for me to foster this work and really help people know where I'm coming from and how they can live their best life.
Where do you think you would be if you hadn't adopted a new way of living and thinking right now?
I honestly don't think that I would be here. When you read the preface of my book, I talk a lot about suffering from bulimia for about 6 or 7 years. And at the age of 28, I said, I can't live this way anymore. And I had everything. My greatest message is that you can have everything in the external world, job, money, cars, houses, all those material things. But if you don't have the strength and the love and the completeness of the feeling within, none of that means anything. So I woke up one morning in 1984 at 28 years old saying, I can't live this way anymore. I don't want to live this way anymore. So I could only imagine. I was a deep lover of Karen Carpenter, dates me way back in the 70s. Karen Carpenter and the Carpenters, and she died of anorexia and bulimia in 1983. So her life was a real inspiration for me because she had everything. She was beautiful, and she died from this disease. So I think if I hadn't checked myself into treatment, if I hadn't had that divine wisdom from within that said, go get help, I'm not sure where I would be today. I know that I wouldn't be this strong, confident, loving, compassionate human being wanting to change the world and really excited and inspired to help others do the same. That I know for sure.
What was the experience like studying with people such as Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson?
It has been such an honor for me to study with teachers and people like this. You know, when I went on retreat with Thich Nhat Hanh, his retreats are silent, the great Buddhist master, and to walk with him for an hour in silence and really understand deeply what it means to be in the present moment, to be walking and truly walking, to be with Marianne Williamson and this whole belief that we can live our lives from a place of love, not fear. It was great inspiration and is today, as I still remain a student, for me to wake up inside and enliven that teacher within and start to really get what am I here to do? How am I here to live my life? And all of these people, all of these great teachers are great inspiration and really kind of a model for us to say, okay, I'm going to go live my life, not in the way that they're living their lives, but really live it the best that I can.
You teach autistic adults as well. What drew you to this line of work, and what challenges do you face while teaching them?
I have a really dear friend that lives here in Boca, and she started this nonprofit, Autism After 21, because her 21-year-old son is autistic. And I sat down and had a conversation. She's been coming to my workshops and my lectures for years. And she said, Barb, how do you think this could work? I really feel that this could help these adults. She said, everyone knows autistic children, but these autistic children grow up to be adults. And we really want these adults to be able to function, to be able to take care of themselves, to really feel comfortable in the world, making a living and really taking care of themselves. So she and I sat down this past summer and I wrote a curriculum, an 8-week curriculum for teaching these adults. And I'm in my 4th week. And I want to tell you, it gives me goosebumps to talk about them. These adults are incredibly serious and strong and playful and loving human beings. And I believe that I'm making a difference with them. They're feeling more confident. One of the things it's a little bit challenging because I had never worked with autism before, is really, it is so important to not only be in the moment, but be open and receptive to how they are. You can ask a question. It might take 15 minutes for them to really be able to say an answer to the question or even be able to feel the question that I'm asking. So patience and really just being in the moment with them. It's been one of the more beautiful things that I've done in my life. Working with these adults has just been an incredible inspiration for me, and I love them to death.
Do you ever feel the pressure to be a leader to people seeking help through their transformations?
I don't feel it as pressure. I feel it as an honor. I feel it as it's something that I'm here to serve and to give. When I gave a talk, as I said last night, at a local hospital, and I had several people come up to me asking my opinion or how was it when I overcame, and I'm in recovery now for 30 years from bulimia. How did I start to love myself? How did I start to really feel like I matter in this world? So I feel it as a real joy to be able to recant my life, say step by step what I did, and be more or less an inspiration for sure, but also be a guide. So it's an honor. I love it. I love being able to share my story, and I love people. I love to talk with people and empower them to find their stories and to also find their strength and find their ability to be able to transform themselves from the inside out.
What advice would you give someone who's struggling to stop unruly behavior such as overthinking?
So I always call that thinking about thinking. It's such a, the mind is I don't know where I heard this. It was, I'm sure, on one of the retreats or something that I read. The mind is our greatest teacher and the mind is our worst enemy. The mind can be our best friend and it can be our most harsh critic. So the only way that I have been able to overcome the mind and being really to train the mind, I think of the mind as a dog, a little puppy. And how do I train it? And that's through meditation, through sitting with myself every single day, focusing my attention on a prayer, on a passage, on my breath, having some focus of attention with my breath or with a prayer, and really letting the thoughts come and go. Letting a thought come up, noticing it, and then letting it go, not engaging it and not pushing it away. This training that I've done for 30 years has now taught me I can go into the world and I can live my day. And when my mind, I'm a recovering bulimic. So sometimes my mind will say, Barb, you're a little bit fat today. You better not eat that lunch. And I'll just laugh and I'll say, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not true at all. You develop a relationship with your mind and yourself and the thought goes away. And so it really is about not allowing yourself to be overrun by your thinking, overrun by your mind, and really training it. And the only way that I have known to do that is through sitting with myself every single morning, even if it's just 5 minutes, first thing, and just meditate and just sit there.
How would this three-step program fit into the busy lives of working moms, especially single working moms now?
I was a single working mom. I had my daughter right after I got out of treatment. I've been on this path for 30 years, so I already was in a path of meditating and really practicing and stepping into my fullness and my greatness. So, and I ended up getting divorced a year later. So I was a working single mom, and you do it little by little. You find one little piece and one little way in your life that you can sit with yourself for 5 minutes. So if my daughter got up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever it was, whatever age she was, I got up a half an hour earlier. When you have this deep desire to really want to make the best of your life, be the greatest human being that you possibly can be, you'll find wiggle room and ways in your life to fit some of these small little practices in. A little bit in the morning sitting with yourself. All day long, I do a great practice on living present. How can I stay in the present moment? I can use the repetition of an affirmation or a mantra to bring my mind back out of the past and out of the future and right here in the moment. Our stress is caused by the mind wanting us to worry about the past or ruminate about the past, really, and worry about the future. Anybody can do that, whether you're a single mom or not. You can bring your mind back to the present moment, take a couple deep breaths, and start over again. I am very famous for saying stop before you begin again. Wake up and stop. Really learning to stop. The day is not one long day. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So if we can learn to take a breath and stop and then start again, you can be a mother, you can be a grandfather, you can be a child, and you can learn these tools of really being able to slow down enough to catch up with yourself.
How much time do you spend on social media? Do you think this has helped you to build connections with your readers?
Absolutely. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. I spend quality time. I'm not on social media all day long. I will schedule in my mind. I will schedule. I'm going to go on Facebook at this time in the morning to greet people to start their day. I'm going to go on Twitter. I'm going to go on Instagram. So I have it very well laid out that I run my life with social media. I don't let social media run my life. So when my time is up, when I'm finished, I don't find myself browsing and going through all the other Facebook or Twitter accounts. I do what I came here to do, and then I go about the rest of my day. So I think it's important to realize that we have a choice in anything, in watching TV, in anything that we do, and to not let any of our external things run our lives, that we have complete control over how much time we're going to spend. But I do have to say it's
Okay.
helped immensely. Sorry.
Yeah. If you could write another book as a follow-up to the practice, what would it be about?
Ooh, that's a great question. I have a lot of new books rattling around in my brain. I would like to talk a little bit more about addiction. I have a real soft place in my heart. I see so many people struggling with alcohol or drugs or food or shopping or gambling, whatever it is, that this idea that something in the external world can take such hold of us and really ruin our lives and really have such a say in our lives. I would also love to do something with teenagers. I'm right now doing a class just like the autism class. I'm doing a class at 2 local high schools and helping teenagers unplug from technology just for a minute every single day. And you can't imagine how difficult that is for them. So I'm kind of looking at how could I get a little bit more specific? How could I actually maybe do a few workbooks or a few books that are actually geared toward addiction or geared toward teenagers or geared toward single mothers or parents? It's the same practice, but when you start talking the language of each particular group, it really matters. It makes a great difference. I spoke at a treatment center a couple of weeks ago, and I could feel the connection that they had with me, obviously because of my past, but the language that I used because I was so in love with and geared towards speaking with them on a very deep personal level.
What has been the response to the book so far? Have people written to you about their success after following the guide?
So much, so much.
Yeah.
I have letters and Facebook messages and personal emails that not only has it helped them start to change their own lives, that they feel empowered, they feel strong, they're starting to feel that sense of connectedness and how living your life grounded from within really makes a difference. And I'm blessed. It's an international bestseller, and I'm just honored to be able to call myself an international best-selling author. Who would have guessed? I'm just so thrilled.
Okay. Who do you think reads your book? Men, women, adults?
I have heard from everyone, but I would probably have to say the largest audience that I have is probably women from the age of 25 to 30 to 70 to 75. That's been the largest number of people that interact with me. I'm 57 years old, so it probably would make sense that I might touch their hearts a little bit stronger. But when I do a workshop, or I have a gentleman that I correspond with regularly, actually from Pakistan, and he tells me and what he's doing with the practice and talks to me about his meditation and talks to me about his ability to let go. And we correspond maybe once or twice a week. I've almost become a mentor for him. He said to me recently that just made me cry. He said, "Miss Barb, I'm working really hard to find inner peace because everything around me is such a war." So I feel it talks and speaks to everyone, and it really meets people where they are in their lives.
Who in your life has given you the best advice, and what was it?
I have to tell you that this came to me when I was writing the book. Someone asked me in the middle of the book, who's been your biggest inspiration? Who has really um, helped mold you, really? And I thought about all the teachers and the masters and the mystics that I've been studying for the past 30 years. And I remembered my greatest role model was my grandfather. I used to be with him in the summers, almost every summer, and he was a plumber. And he was a beautiful, beautiful man. He really taught me how to be present. He was present with me. He taught me how to garden. He taught me how to be in the garage. So he was really my role model. He was someone that gave me love and attention as a young girl that I was missing, that I was lacking in really feeling myself as an important human being. So I would have to say my grandfather.
How do you juggle between being a businesswoman, philanthropist, spiritual teacher, and author?
I try to stay in the moment as very much as possible. It's when you put all of that out there, it's like, oh my gosh, how does she do it? But if you really watched me live my life, I'm doing this interview with you right now, so this is all I've been thinking about and doing for the past 2 hours. I really bring myself into the moment and focus on what it is that I have to do next. When I'm in my foundation meetings doing my philanthropy work, I put the external world out and I'm right here in the moment looking at what projects do we want to fund. So it matters so much to keep your energy high by spending time with yourself in meditation, sitting with yourself in the morning, and really bringing yourself back to the present moment. If I allowed my mind to be scattered, if I tried to do a little philanthropy and a little book talk and a little bit of business work, I'd first of all be worn out, and second of all, you wouldn't have all of me. So you'd be getting a version of Barb Schmidt that's less than what I'm capable of being. So I encourage people to really understand how important it is to be in the present moment and just bring yourself back. Stop and bring yourself back to the moment. You will live a life of greatness, able to do a lot, but actually being while you're doing.
What are some ways to redirect negative energy when it comes to friends or loved ones in order to make it positive?
I have become a master, first of all, at changing the subject. When I'm with a group of people, we're not always going to agree. Look at the political climate across the world and in the United States for sure. We're not always going to agree on things, but we have our friends and we have our loved ones. So how can we be strong in what our own beliefs are, but then being able to be open and receptive, allowing people to be who they are? So I've become a master if a conversation goes to gossip or if a conversation goes to very negative criticism about anyone. I'm not a person that likes to sit around talking about people. I will change the subject and I will say, Joanne, where did you buy that dress? It's really beautiful on you. You look fantastic today. People love to talk about themselves and to be noticed. So I don't allow negativity to live in my mind very long. When something negative or when something's happening around me where the energy feels off, where it feels like it's taking me down a path where I'm starting to feel angry or resentful or not really good about the situation or myself, I take a deep breath. I'll close my eyes or I'll take a deep breath if I'm with a lot of people and I'll say, stop this and start over again. I'll say my mantra. I'll use an affirmation and I change the subject. I start over again. I bring some positive energy in. And if I'm by myself, I might read an inspirational quote. I might get one of my incredibly wonderful books that I have lined up around my house for reading for inspiration and get that dose of connectedness, of love, of compassion, of strength, of empowerment. It works wonders. It clears the mind of the negativity and brings you right back to exactly who you are. Love, peace, and strength.
What if meditation isn't for you? Are there any other techniques you would recommend to start your day in a calm way?
I love that question because one of my desires in this book and why I've made it so simple is that meditation is for everyone. You just need to understand what meditation is. I've tried to demystify this word. Meditation is just sitting with yourself. That's all it is. And in order to be able to sit with yourself, you just need to have a tool, have an object to be able to bring the mind back to when it starts to get chaotic, when it starts to wander, when it starts to give you pressure that you don't have time to be sitting here. You're such a busy and important person. You need to get going. I'm very busy and I'm always doing a lot of things. But if I don't spend time sitting with myself, for me, I don't know how I could ever know what I feel. I don't know if I would know what I want in life if we're not really spending time with ourselves. I'm on a passion to get people to make their minds and make themselves their worthy travel companion on this journey in life. You're with you clear up to the end. You can get rid of friends, you can get rid of family, you can get rid of all the external things you want, but you can't get rid of yourself. So I say meditation is for everyone. Just stop having the expectation or thinking about what other people tell you that meditation is, and really just sit with yourself and find out what it is for yourself.
What are some activities that you like to do in your free time?
I love animals, so I love walking my dog. When I have a free minute, I have a park right down the street. I take her to the park. I just love sitting there, watching her run around. It's one of my most joyful things to do. I love to read. When it's wintertime, I love to ski. We go out to Colorado and ski. I love to be on the water. I love to walk on the beach. I don't live too far from the beach. And I love to be with people. My husband is an avid moviegoer. We've seen just about every single movie that's not violent. I'm not a violent movie kind of person. So I love to be with people, but I also love to be with myself. So reading, walking my dog. I love to walk. I love yoga. I'm an avid yoga person. So kind of all over the place.
Do you have any events coming up that we can look forward to?
Oh, I sure do. Actually, tomorrow I have a big inaugural event at Florida Atlantic University, an evening of peace and inspiration with Wayne Dyer's daughters, Serena and Sky. With me, I will be doing a workshop, and then it culminates with Gabrielle Bernstein doing a keynote and a question and answer. So I'm so excited about that over at Florida Atlantic University. And it is on live stream. So you can go to the website, Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, and get on live stream to hear the whole evening, which will be phenomenal. And then I have the most incredible opportunity and beautiful day that we're going to spend with Tenzin Palmo, who is a Buddhist nun from London, a Tibetan Buddhist nun who lived in a cave for 12 years. She's one of my dearest teachers. Her message, her life, her nunnery that she founded in India is so inspiring, and she is such an amazing, beautiful human being. So I'm bringing her to the university for a talk on January 5th. And a lot of online stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Stay on to the website with Peace of Mind, Peaceful Life, or my website, barbschmidt.com. We have a lot of great things coming up for 2015.
Great. If readers could take away one thing from the practice, what would you want it to be and why?
I want readers to know how magnificent they are, how loving they are, how complete they are. You don't need anything in the external world to complete you. You only need to go inside. You have everything that you need inside of yourself to be that magnificent person that you already are, but really live the life of your dreams. So I really want people to understand. I want them to love themselves. I didn't love myself. There was a time. And so having this transformation over the past 30 years, it's so exhilarating to know that we do matter. We are important. We can leave this life a little bit better. We can be toward the end of our life saying, oh, wow, I have no regrets. I love my life so much, and I did the best that I could, and I have lived a life very well spent. You know, Abraham Lincoln is known to have said, I would love to live a life of greatness and be worthy of it being written about. So I don't know that we need our lives written about, but wouldn't it be wonderful at the end of your life that you knew that you lived your life of greatness? That's what the practice is all about, and this is what my life's passion is about.
What are you working on next?
Actually, the biggest thing in my life right now, besides these two programs with autism and with teenagers, is our event schedule for 2015. How can I now take what I've done here for 30 years, really here in South Florida, and how can I take it to the world? I have so many people. I just got back from Dublin, Ireland, and I did a graduation commencement talk there. I was given an honorary doctorate, American Irish University. And I have so many women there that want me to come over and do workshops. And so I realized this book is international. This book is global. My social media presence is worldwide. I am one person at a time changing the world for peace and love and empowerment. So I want to explore that. I want to see how can I get this message? How can I actually get out and about now that I'm done with my book tour, really get out and in a big way have people ask me questions like this BookTrib Q&A, and how can I really start affecting some even more change, even bigger change throughout the world. So I'm looking at plans like that for 2015.
Well, it looks like we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming, Barb. And everyone watching, head over to booktrib.com and enter to win a free book.
Thank you. Thank you, Deb. It's been an honor to
Thank
be here.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.